Happy World Lung Day 2023. This is me, Lauren Dunlap, Executive Director for Advocacy and Awareness for Immune Disorders Association, or AAIDA, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm happy to host this afternoon's special educational webinar. AAIDA's mission is to provide support and advocate for the greater than 25 million Americans living with immune disorders. AAIDA works to promote research and create better awareness of immune disorders. Today, I will be joined by Dr. Shruti Shah, who is a cardiopulmonary physiotherapist working in Mumbai, India. She is currently associated with Nandini Health Clinic in Sion after working in Bhatia Hospital for 2 years. She is interested in spreading awareness about cardiopulmonary rehabilitation and chronic cardiac and pulmonary disorders, as well as other conditions influenced by individual lifestyle factors. She pursued her master's in cardiovascular and respiratory sciences from LTMMC Government College in Mumbai after receiving her bachelor's degree in physiotherapy from Terna Physiotherapy College in Mumbai. Dr. Shah, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and on this special educational World Lung Day.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for the wonderful introduction. So let's begin our webinar. On the occasion of World Lung Day, let's talk about fostering healthy lifestyle. So the theme for this year's World Lung Day is Access to Prevention and Treatment for All, Leave No One Behind, a call to action, which emphasizes the significance of an equal access, ensuring the treatment and prevention of lung diseases. This is made possible through early detection. If we can detect the disease early, it is easier to treat it, and you can also avoid the complications. To promote lung health, which is a fundamental human right, and we will be discussing few prevention strategies. So let's understand what are healthy lungs. So I would ask all of you to just feel like if you're holding a sponge in your hand. So your lungs are exactly like that. So they are squishy, pink, and they are flexible enough to squeeze and expand with each breath. Their function is to take oxygen out of the air you breathe and pass it into your blood. Similarly, at one end you have your healthy lungs, and at the extreme end you might be knowing that few smokers, their lungs are damaged. So let's understand the difference between a smoker's lung and healthy lungs. So smokers' lungs appear black, mottled, they have damaged tissue, they are less elastic, that means they are not able to expand and relax better, and over a period of time with chronicity, the toxic substances build up in the lung tissue. So let's understand few signs one might have a lung issue. So the first and the foremost sign is difficulty in breathing. Difficulty in breathing or shortness of breath. It can be experienced either at rest or during activity. It can be experienced during rest or it can be experienced at any activity. So your day-to-day activities like walking, stair climbing, changing your clothes could be difficult, or you might feel breathless while performing one of these tasks. The second symptom is cough. Your cough could be dry cough or it could be a wet cough. You could also have chest pain or any discomfort in the anterior region of your chest. So to differentiate between the chest pain in a respiratory condition versus a cardiac condition. So in a cardiac condition, the chest pain could radiate to your left arm, your upper shoulder anteriorly, upper shoulder posteriorly. But in a respiratory type of pain, it is mostly anteriorly located. There could be wheezing. Wheezing is generally a musical sound which is heard, which could be heard enhancedly on an auscultation. So there could be any changes in the mucus color. So your mucus color could be white, it could be transparent, it could be yellow, could be green, it could be red, or even brown sometimes. Your activities of daily living, like your daily chores, that is cooking, cleaning, housework, going to the office, traveling, would be difficult for you. You could have fatigue or you could have muscle tiredness. So if you have any of these symptoms and if they don't subside within 2 weeks, then you must get yourself checked. First, you can show it to your local practitioner and he may refer you accordingly. Now let's understand what are the different types of lung diseases. Since today is World Lung Day, what are the diseases that one may get if one has a lung issue? So the lung diseases are divided into two types, obstructive lung diseases and restrictive lung diseases. So let's imagine two water pipes, one with a bigger diameter and one with a smaller diameter. So it is obvious that the diameter which is larger allows water to pass freely. In a similar way, in your lungs, you have airways. So the airways which are narrower versus airways which have a bigger diameter. So narrow airways create resistance to airflow. Hence, it has difficulty in passing the air. So, such a obstruction is seen in lung cases where there are obstructive lung diseases, like chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases and bronchial asthma, bronchiectasis, cystic fibrosis, bronchitis, alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency, etc. Now, on the other hand, we have restrictive type of lung diseases. So from the picture here, you can see that in restrictive lung diseases, there is something pulling onto your lungs. So it is not allowing you to breathe deeply. That is, it is causing an restriction. So in that case, you have a difficulty taking a deeper breath. So these type of changes are seen in restrictive lung diseases like interstitial lung diseases, pulmonary fibrosis, neuromuscular diseases like motor neuron disease, Guillain-Barré syndrome, spinal cord injury, etc. Congestive cardiac failure also gives rise to restrictive lung diseases. You could have sarcoidosis, obesity, etc. Now, moving further to the types of lung diseases. So, interstitial lung disease generally has multiple types. But today, let's not talk about all these types in details. Since AIDA is mainly associated with autoimmune diseases, let's talk about the connection between the autoimmune lung diseases and the interstitial lung disease. So in autoimmune lung disease, you could have rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, Sjogren's syndrome, scleroderma, dermatomyositis, and mixed connective tissue disease. So what happens in an autoimmune disease? In an autoimmune disease, a person's own immune system thinks that the lungs are a foreign object and it starts attacking the lungs. So thus it causes inflammation and scarring, which can impair the lung function and thereby your breathing. Out of all these lung diseases, COPD and asthma are the leading causes of death, and generally deaths occur in older adults. So now, after having known what are healthy lungs, what are the types of different lung diseases, let's know about some prevention strategies. So, to reduce indoor and outdoor pollution, vaccinations, taking the right steps to breathe healthy, that is diet and exercise, and tobacco control measures. So here is a slide depicting 5 things you need to know about the indoor air quality. So these are very interesting things. That is, air pollution is one of the top 5 factors according to WHO causing chronic airway disease. And it says that about 90% of our time is spent indoors in our homes and almost 70% in our own houses. We consume nearly as much as 8 times as volume as air and almost 4 times as much as air as water. Now, the fourth fact is that the indoor air contains about twice to 5 times much air pollution as is typical in the outdoor air scene. High performance homes constructed recently let in less fresh air than those in the older, less efficient homes. So these are the facts we know about the indoor air quality. So now I would just ask you all to close your eyes and just imagine entering your house and just recognizing few sources of indoor air pollution inside your house. So after you have done this, let's start a walkthrough inside your house. So when we enter the door through your living room, you could see your neighbor's pet dander is on the floor. There could be tobacco smoke. There could be some VOCs from paints, from varnishes, from your furniture, from your carpet or your upholstery. Further moving towards your kitchen, okay, there is something cooking inside and it could be releasing some toxic fumes. There could be fuel oil, any cooking devices which could be releasing some gas in the air. Then going towards your laundry room. So you could have volatile organic compounds from cleaning products, molds, mildews, odors, and other microbial pathogens. Then going towards your bedroom, you see towards your bedroom, you have your perfumes, hairspray, deodorants, nail polish, upholstery, furniture, carpet, dust mites, and bed sheets. There could be some molds or fungus as well. As we go towards your bathroom, we could have molds, mildews, odors, and other microbial pathogens inside. Your AC also has few pathogens which it is unable to remove because the same air keeps circulating inside the rooms. It could also lead to some odor. So these are the few sources of indoor air pollutants inside the house. So let's understand this in detail. So your cooking process could release few gases into the air. There could be poor ventilation inside the house. If you have any freshly painted rooms, the smell of that also could lead to some problems. There could be scented items, incense stick, fragrances, candles, deodorants, perfumes. There could be pet dander all around. Some people are more allergic to it. Suppose the density of people living is high, that is, in a small space, many of you are living together. Also, smoking adds to this pollution. So, the microbial agents which we just saw, that is, the molds, mildew, and viral infections, these all play together in the development of asthma and allergic airway diseases. Let's understand how. So some of these fungi, which we just saw, they contain allergens and their sensitization is possible by the indoor exposure due to the dampness and mold growth. It serves as a medium for their growth. So it enhances the process and it accelerates the process. So if you have pets, house dust mites and cockroaches inside your house, these are known as aeroallergens. Exposures to them may cause sensitization with production of IgE antibodies in your body. So with the production of IgE antibodies, these play a development of allergic airway diseases like rhinitis and asthma according to studies. So now after knowing the sources of indoor air quality, let's talk about some of the improvement strategies. So first and foremost, once you know that there are some of the allergens inside your house, the first thing you can do is to avoid the exposure to the allergens that elicit the allergic reactions. So you could choose non-toxic, eco-friendly products. That is, since they reduce a lot of harmful chemicals into the air, thus polluting it, you could practice good hygiene practices, that is washing your hands quite often. You can use protective gear whenever possible, that is masks, gloves, etc. So regular maintenance and cleaning of your ACs, filters, fridge, washing machine, any of the electronic devices in your house, because they also have chlorofluorocarbons, which is then released into the atmosphere, adds to this problem. Monitoring and controlling humidity levels. So the outside humidity levels are not in your control, but the air inside your house can be controlled. It can be done through using dehumidifiers or humidifiers. So if the humidity level is high, it promotes the growth of mold and fungi. If the humidity level is low, it can cause dry skin and respiratory problems. You could also use air purifiers and filters. It helps remove pollutants from the air. So now, after having known the indoor sources of air pollution, let's come to some of the outdoor air pollution sources. So generally it is seen that the agricultural practices, that is biomass burning, releases methane, nitric oxide into the atmosphere. Then you could have construction and road dust. That also leads a lot of smoke into the atmosphere. Open waste burning, vehicular emissions, industrial pollutants, fungal spores, dust, and pollen. Exhaust from the building also is a source outside the building which causes a lot of pollution. Then you could have vehicular smoke, or some of the maintenance activities like pesticides from pest control activities or emissions from stored supplies. You have dust or dirt particles generally in the atmosphere, poor ventilation, VOCs from paint, chalk, adhesives, and other products. So a quick way to just change this at a smaller level and going globally, we could do that is invest in energy efficient power generation, improve domestic industry and municipal waste management. We could start the dry and the wet waste separation techniques at home. Okay, build safe and affordable public transport systems and pedestrian and cycle friendly networks inside the city, make greener and more compact cities with energy efficient buildings. Okay. Provide universal access to clean, affordable fuels and technologies for cooking, heating, and lighting. You can have a piped gas line system instead of the cylinders which are generally used. Reduce agricultural waste, incineration, forest fires, and certain agroforestry activities. So, in this way, we can combat the outdoor air pollution at a smaller level. The second step is to promote vaccinations. Now you would think, what is the use of promoting vaccinations? So any patient with a pre-existing lung condition, it increases their chances or risks of having a lung infection. In order to prevent that, you can get yourself vaccinated. So it helps in stopping diseases from spreading. It helps to protect family members, caregivers, and other people. So in the image, you can see that the young child is not able to be vaccinated, but all the elders in the surroundings are vaccinated. Thereby, they can stop the spread of disease and you can help and protect your loved ones, caregivers, and other people. So, affected individuals or patients can generally take COVID-19 vaccine, which will help them protect against the COVID-19 severe flu illness. The influenza vaccine, it helps to protect against the seasonal flu vaccine each year. The pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine protects against the bacterial pneumonia, and the respiratory syncytial virus protects against severe respiratory virus illness in adults post 60 years. For normal adults, they can take the COVID vaccine, influenza vaccine, hepatitis A, and hepatitis B vaccine. So the third step to prevention is taking the right steps to breathe healthy through diet and exercise. Diet. So in your diet, you can include more of proteins since it builds sufficient energy. It helps to provide a sufficient energy. So patients with lung conditions generally have difficulty in breathing, that is breathlessness. With breathlessness, you need twice the energy for a normal task to be done. So you need to eat in the double proportion so that your nutrition levels are up, because breathing takes away half of your energy. You should ensure adequate hydration. So those who are having these conditions generally have a lot of sputum buildup in the body, and the sputum is thick, sometimes viscous, it is transparent sometimes it is yellowish, it is whitish. So it changes color according to your condition. So if you want to liquefy and get it out faster, you should ensure that you have adequate hydration. Adequate hydration liquefies the sputum and enhances its removal. Once it is out, it is less toxic for you and it reduces the chances of your body catching infections. Your breathlessness also can go down since the chest is very clear and you are able to breathe better. So just by drinking water, you can get your lung problems under control. You can avoid spicy, cold foodstuffs. Okay, you should prefer home cooked meals. What other precautions you can take is minimize the risk of unwanted weight loss. Since generally in this condition, because breathing takes a lot of energy, patients generally tend to lose weight. So in order to combat that, you need to have a good balanced diet. Build fat-free mass, that is build a lot of muscle strength. Prevent malnutrition. You should not be on the side of deficiencies of all the vitamins and minerals. You should improve your pulmonary status. If you follow this, you can improve your pulmonary status. So these are some of the foods that support lung health. One more question I would like to ask you all is, there is one food stuff which is similar to the lungs, and you can help me name it at till the last slide, and I can reveal it then. So God has made interesting combinations with foodstuffs which are good for the organs, and they resemble the shape of the organs. Now let's move on to the exercise part. So what is exercise for the lungs? So exercise for the lungs is known as pulmonary rehabilitation. What is done in pulmonary rehabilitation? Pulmonary rehabilitation is where the exercises are monitored and it is deemed safe for the patient to do those exercises considering their breathing and their oxygen levels. It is a holistic approach where you have your physician, that is your main doctor. You could have your physiotherapist, a cardiopulmonary physiotherapist, or exercise psychologist. You could have your nutritionist or your dietitian, and you could have your caregiver. So it is a teamed approach, and it takes around 8 to 10 sessions over a period of time to rehabilitate the patients. A lot of things are done during the whole course of this rehabilitation. You could have some of these exercises which are done, which will help you improve your quality of life, reduce your breathlessness, and improve your functional status. It will also improve your lung volumes and capacities. Your ability to do everyday tasks becomes enhanced. So in pulmonary rehabilitation, exercise training is done along with breathing exercises. You could have airway clearance techniques which are done, which is shown in this slide. Generally, all of us might have seen the first device that is called as an incentive spirometer. It is done to increase the level of your breathing, and it helps to improve your lung volume. The second device shown here is the aerobica. It helps to clear the mucus out of your airways. And then at the side, acapellas are shown. It is used in pediatric as well as the adult population. It also helps to clear out secretions from your lungs. It oscillates at a particular frequency so that secretions come out easily. These are some of the airway clearance techniques which are generally given to patients. Along with it, even postural drainage is used, positioning is used. You might be familiar with nebulizers which are given to some patients who need to be taken according to the frequency of their condition. And along with that, you could also be doing these exercises. You have breathing exercises, aerobic training, strength training, flexibility training, posture correction, and core strengthening. Breathing exercises are mainly focused to enhance the breathing rate, to control your breathing, to alter the pattern of your breathing. So you could have breathing retraining and breathing control. Aerobic training is done to improve your oxygenation levels. Strength training is done to improve the muscle strength. Flexibility training is done for the body to make your muscles and your body flexible. Posture correction is done to improve your posture. Since over a period of time in these patients, the posture is affected, you try to be more protracted, kyphosis develops, a lot of postural alterations over a period of time occur. Core strengthening is also done. So first, let's understand what happens if you're not active. So this is known as the cycle of inactivity or the cycle of breathlessness. So suppose if you're inactive, you will do less activity. So if you do less activity, your muscles are weaker. So weaker muscles use more oxygen to do the same work, and they are less efficient. So and you feel breathless. Now, since you're breathless, you're fearful to do more activity, and so which makes you more breathless. You avoid those activities which make you breathless, and in turn you do less activity. So this cycle continues. But the good news is that you can break this cycle of inactivity. How? By becoming more active and making your muscles stronger. You can also include your breathing muscles into this. It will help you feel less out of breath when you do your everyday tasks. You could do more activity to help your breathlessness. Your muscles become stronger. Stronger muscles use oxygen more efficiently. You're less breathless and tasks become easier for you to perform. You feel better. You're motivated to continue being active. And thus we start the cycle of positivity and activity. Now let's move on to the breathing exercises. So what are some of the breathing exercises that you normally do? For this, I would ask you to place one hand on your chest, upper chest, and one hand on the stomach. Now slowly take a deep breath and blow out from your mouth. While doing this, just see to it that what pattern of breathing is happening. When you're breathing in, which part of your hand tries to come up and out, and which part goes inside. Normally, we all as adults over a period of time adopt a shallow pattern of breathing, wherein you would be breathing more from your upper chest and less from your stomach or the abdomen. So behind your abdomen and above, there is a diaphragm muscle, which is the main muscle of respiration. It is shaped like a parachute. So when you breathe in, the parachute expands. And when it expands, it tries to push the stomach out. Thus, your stomach will come out. And when you breathe out, it goes inside because it contracts. So that's when your stomach goes inside. So this happens in a normal, good breathing pattern. So this is what we must adopt and we should aim for. So this is known as a diaphragmatic breathing exercise. There are various exercises which are done according to the patient's condition. You have apical breathing exercise, lateral costal breathing exercise, thoracic expansion exercise, diaphragmatic breathing exercise, which we just spoke about, inspiratory holds and expiratory holds. It is seen that if you breathe normally from your upper chest or your apical pattern, okay, only 0.5 liters of air goes into your system. And if you breathe through your diaphragm, 3 liters of air generally goes inside. So you're able to use your muscles efficiently. Now we will perform one simple exercise, that is, just imagine that you're trying to smell a rose. And now just blow out like you blow out a birthday candle. So you smell a rose from your nose, and you blow out slowly. This is known as a pursed lip breathing exercise. This is a simple exercise. Whenever you are in stress, you could also do this to get your heart rate down and facilitate your breathing. By doing these exercises, you're strengthening your diaphragm and you're training your body to breathe deeply and effectively. Now let's move on to aerobic activity. So what are aerobic activities? Any cardiovascular activity that gets your heart rate pumping and increases oxygen levels in your body is an aerobic activity. It makes your heart beat faster, makes you breathe quicker and deeper. So you should try to do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity every week. That is 20 minutes per day. So your activities could include brisk walking, jogging, running, swimming, cycling, playing tennis or playing football. It could be any of the above, whichever you like. For example, even gardening can get your heart rate up. Weeding, digging or mowing the lawn can improve your breathing and your overall fitness. If you find pollen and mold trigger your symptoms, you could take an antihistamine with the help of your GP and wear a mask while doing gardening. Now let's move on to strengthening. So if your body muscles are weak, they need more blood flow, which makes your heart and lungs work harder. Thus, it makes you breathless. But stronger muscles will help you manage your breathlessness. So if you do strengthening, your muscle strength develops and it can help you manage your breathlessness better. It will help you build your core strength, improve your posture, and tone your breathing muscles. You should try to do at least twice a week. You can fit this into your daily life, for example, by carrying shopping bags, doing yoga, using weights. You can either use cans of soap, bottles of milk, detergent powders, pile of newspapers, plastic bottles, whichever is easily accessible to you. Climbing stairs, a very good strengthening exercise for the legs. It strengthens muscles around your hips and thighs. If you have difficulty getting in and out of chairs, this is an exercise you must do. Improve posture, balance, and flexibility. It will help you manage your aches and pains and also improve your posture if you start doing these exercises. Along with strength training, it can also help to reduce risk of falls in older people. It has been seen that people with lung conditions also have affections of balance at some stage in life. You can also try to include balance and flexibility activities at least twice a week. Now, you would have a question as to how much activity should I do? So the talk test will help us decide how much activity should I do. So when you're normal, it's active. When you're active, it's normal to get out of breath, but not too much. So when you're exercising, try to say the sentence, this activity is going to do me good. If you can say this sentence without stopping, then you should increase your intensity of exercise. That is, it says that you're exercising at a lower intensity level. If you need to stop for breath when you're saying, then you're exercising actually at the right level. And if you're only able to say only one word, that means you need to slow down your pace. Buddy, you're exercising too much. And find an activity that's easier for you to do. So these are also some of the easy examples of incorporating movement into your day-to-day life. So any movement is good for you and it can be a part of your daily routines. That is walking around during TV breaks into your house, walk to the nearby shops, get off the bus one stop early, track your steps with tools like a smartphone, smartwatch, or pedometer. Walking 1,000 steps a day can also improve your fitness. So start small and go ahead. Increasing your non-activity thermogenesis. So if you park further away, take the stairs, do housework, walk and talk, walk your dog, play with your kids, also can help you in these activities. In turn, it will help you with fat loss, improve your heart health, and enhance your mood. So now we have a very interesting slide, that is indoor plants and musical instruments. So what is the relation of having indoor plants and having good lung health? So these plants are known as oxygen-rich plants. They purify the air inside your homes and they have a good oxygen content. So some of the plants are spider plant, golden pothos, peace lily, snake plant, aloe vera. You also have some flowering plants, that is daisy, chrysanthemum, English ivy, etc. And you have musical instruments on this side. So, as a lung patient, few of them also like to sing. So, if you like to sing on a day-to-day basis, or even if you adopt this practice of singing at least twice a week, it can help your lungs to breathe better. So, you could also play a flute, you could blow a conch shell or a shank, you could blow a mouth organ, or you can learn to sing. Any of these activities also is an indirect way to improve your lung health. So suppose some of you are not into exercise, this also could be one of your things, and it can help you improve your lungs. Lastly, let's discuss about the tobacco control measures. So Pan America Health Organization and World Health Organization together have come up with this mnemonic, which is monitor tobacco use and prevention policies, protect people from tobacco smoke, offer help to quit smoking, warn about the dangers of tobacco, enforce bans on tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship, raise taxes on tobacco. So here in the diagram, a single cigarette is shown to have almost around 13 chemicals. So think about it before smoking. This is one last slide I have included, that if you are a caretaker, which everyone I think must have been at some stage of their life, for their parents, relatives, friends, caregivers, etc. So how to support a loved one with COPD? First and foremost, educate yourself on COPD and few respiratory emergencies. Prepare healthy snacks and meals for them. Improve the air quality by avoiding products with heavy scents and harsh chemicals. Support stoppage of smoking if they are by engaging in healthy and distracting activities. Encourage movement by exercising right alongside them. So these are few ways where you can do for the patient and you can help the patient. So these are few takeaways from today's lecture. What we learned is that lungs are life. It is very important to look after them. Right breathing is important. Get yourself vaccinated. Exercise is key. If you try and do exercise, you will go a long way. And little modifications in your lifestyle and your home. So the answer to the question asked was that grapes resemble human lungs and they are very good for your lungs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw, for that informative presentation. And we're going to open it up to questions for our audience members at this time. Just a reminder for our audience that attendees that you can ask those, type those questions in the little question box on your panel. So, Dr. Shaw, do you
Yes.
have any recommendations for patients experiencing exacerbation of symptoms around while they're cleaning their house maybe, and they have an underlying lung condition or lung disease? And obviously, some of the tips that you gave are very helpful and very informative. But do you have any other recommendations for patients that might be cleaning around indoor
Yes.
allergens or deterrents?
So this varies from condition to condition, but generally you could wear a mask, you could take your inhalers, you could keep your emergency medicines nearby. So if you get a bout of an attack or so, you could take your inhalers and you could wear a mask and you could just use hot water while you're cleaning, while you're drinking. That way.
Okay, that's very helpful. And thank you.
Yeah.
So, what are some specific foods that, when we talk about low inflammatory diet to help patients with some of the symptoms that they may have in their lungs, what are some specific foods that you recommend to others?
Okay, so generally in lung conditions, it is said that you need to avoid spicy foods, acidic foods. So your diet should be high in alkalinity. So you could have a few citrus fruits which are less acidic. Then you could include warm foods, boiled foods, which are good. You could include lots of proteins in your diet, which can help you manage the condition well.
Great, that's very helpful to know. And then you mentioned just a few minutes ago about grapes, which I thought was very interesting. Can you just touch on that again? It was close to one of your last slides.
Yeah,
That
so
was
just let me know
interesting to see. Uh,
this one.
know about the grapes.
Yeah. Yeah,
There it is. I thought that was interesting. One of your last notes, you talked about the grapes in it.
yeah. So there are like God is great and He's made so many foods and vegetables which resemble the human body part, which it's good for. So grapes, berries are very good for the lungs. You have apples, you have red color fruits, raspberries, strawberries, which are good as well. Then you have ginger, which is good for your stomach. So you could just look at that and fortify your body with those foodstuffs.
Sure. Yes, berries and are always a go-to for me as well. Um,
Yeah.
do you, I had a, just forgot what I was going to ask. Do we have
Yeah.
any other questions for our audience members? Just waiting for,
I
okay.
wanted to know if anyone from this population is suffering from any lung condition, any particular condition which we just discussed, or
Do any of our audience or attendees have any specific lung conditions? I'm waiting for anybody.
okay,
Besides me, oh, I'll answer. I have non-CF bronchiectasis, so
okay,
well, we talked about that
yes,
heat and
cystic fibrosis.
humidity seem to exacerbate my symptoms, and yes, some of the tips you gave were very helpful around thinning the mucus buildup that goes hand in hand with a bronchiectasis diagnosis. So a
Yes,
lot of times, I'm sure your patients have felt like they were drowning in the,
secretions. Yeah, that is
secretion.
true.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible to feel like
It is
that.
very difficult to manage. Yes, I
Yes.
agree.
So I 100% agree with some of the recommendations when you were talking about adequate hydration and to get those
Correct.
secretions out.
Yeah.
Um,
Even
and the,
positioning can help such patients better. Positioning and postural drainage.
yes, I agree with that as well. Um, I don't see anybody responding or if they have any specific lung conditions. Um, in your region of the world, what's
Yeah.
the prevalence or frequency of lung disease? Do you know that? Or maybe a specific lung condition such as asthma or bronchiectasis or
Yeah,
other
so in the
types of.
urban population, asthma is picking up now, and you also see a lot of varieties of interstitial lung diseases, and many of the causes are idiopathic. Mostly here, we also see pigeon exposures. So here, generally, or due to religious influences, people give food to pigeons. So due to the exposure, a lot of pigeon exposure, many patients we see are of interstitial lung diseases.
I have a question from our attendee.
Yes.
I have GILD due to COVID, where nodules come and go. Any suggestions? Are these exercises good to keep nodules from increasing?
Yes, definitely. It will generally help your whole body. So it will condition your body in such a way that you can prevent the formation in future. So because it is genetic, it may come and go, but the severity and the intensity may go down with exercise.
Thank
And
you.
do you have any particular symptom which happens, or you just have those nodules apart from the nodules?
Oh, she said it was a typo for the computer. She said not COVID, CVID, so common variable immunodeficiency, which
Okay, yeah.
is a primary immune deficiency. That's why she has that due to
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the severity can definitely go down with exercise, definitely.
because I feel like it's all it's the buildup of also inflammation. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes,
doctor.
yes, yes, it's correct.
Oh,
Yes.
was that hopefully that answered your question, Caroline? Oh, okay. Are there any other questions for Dr. Shaw? Okay, good. I'm glad that answered. She said yes. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, Dr. Shaw, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon and sharing your very helpful insights and knowledge on World Lung Day. And also, thank you to our audience members for joining us this afternoon. And don't forget to register for our next webinar on October 4th for how cancer became a four-letter word with Ashley and Michael Kramer. And do please take a few quick seconds to answer our 5-question survey at the conclusion of today's webinar to help us better serve our patient community. So this is Lauren Dunlap for AAIDA and Dr. Shruti Shah, and we hope you have a very healthy, happy Lung Day 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, wonderful audience.
Take care.